Hello and welcome back to MatrixGold. In this video today, we will reply some questions that our customers has posted in our social media. The first question that we have is about the render materials, how we can create our own render materials and then save them to use them later. Okay, so let's gonna get, first of all, I will get just this model here. Alright, so we have now the render here. I will hide this part and I will hide all the yellow lines. So we have this ring. Alright, now I wanna make this ring, let me go like this, in rose gold. So if I go to the rose gold and I apply it to here, rose gold, as you can see, I feel like this rose gold is too pink. Alright, so this is something very particular for each customer, but I think that this is too pink. So how can I change that? I go to the render materials, to the second tab, and this is the material that we have applied to that ring. So once I click on it, here I can start to make any change that I want. I can go and change the shine, so if I want it more with a matte look, I can go like this, and now as you can see, it has a matte look. Alright, so I can save rose gold matte, for instance. So I will go back to the shiny, so now as you can see all the reflections, and there is also different finished, so I can have hammer, I can have Florentine. So as you can see now I'm having here like a hammer finish, so you can find different finishes for each of the ones that we have here. Okay, there is a few that then you can put it, you can start to play with all these settings to make it more visible. Alright, so now I have satin and I can just start to play if I want it, just say with the strength, and now as you can see it's more noticeable. Okay, so you can start to play with any of these settings that you have here. I want also to play with the color. So if I want to play with the color, because we were saying that it was too pink, I can go to the color palette and start to go a bit more like white. Alright, so this is the render mode that we have, but you can also go to the ray traced mode here, ray traced mode, so you can see exactly how the metal is gonna look like. Alright, so now as you can see we have the satin finish that we set up. So you can see the prongs are getting this satin finish. So this is the metal look like we are gonna get. Maybe I don't want it satin, I want it matte, so let's gonna keep it polished, and then I will go for the shine, I will go for something more matte like this. Alright, so now this is a metal that I want to save, this is a metal that I want to have in my library. I still feel like it's too pink, so let me go a bit more like this. So now I like what I get here. Alright, so what I need to do now is just save this metal. To do that, I will go on top of the material that we have been just playing with. I will click with my right mouse button and I will save the material. I will call it rose gold 18K matte, and then video, so I know which is this one, and I will click OK. Alright, so now we have this ready. Alright, perfect. Maybe now here I wanna import just something else and I want to apply the same color. The way that I will do that is just let me see if I have anything here. Look, I can bring this on. Okay, so now we have the ring here, and I want to apply the same material that I have in this ring. Let me go first to another view that is not recalculating all the time as the ray trace is doing. Alright, so now it's faster to move it. So I want to apply the metal that I have in this ring to this one. Alright, so to do that I will do the following. I want to keep this in white gold, and I want to keep just the shank, the cathedral shank, in the same rose gold that I have here. Of course that I have here, I have it just now in here because I use it in that ring, but I'm going to show you how to bring it back just in case that you don't have it in that place. Alright, so if you want to bring it back, what you have to do, you see that we are in the second tab, this is the first one, this is the second one. I go to this window here, import render material. From the moment that I click, I go to the folder where we save all the materials that we have changed. So let me look for the rose gold 18 carats matte video. So I select this one, open, and there we go. Now I have it here. Alright, so if I want to apply this material to the new ring that I have, I just need to select where I want to apply it. I click and apply material to the object, and there we go. Now I get the same kind of effect that I was looking for. Alright, so this is how you can play with the materials and how you can just bring them in or bring them out. Okay, and save them in your folder with all the modifications that you have done. Then I have another question that is asking, how do I get a large size rendering? So before you go to click on render, as you can see here, you have the resolution. So the resolution we have already set up a few dimensions, but if you want, you can go custom. When you go custom, you can set up anything that you want. So if you want, I have now 1080 by 1080. If I want to go double up and I want this, I can go and just click here, and I will get this dimension, and then of course at how many passes do I want. Okay, now that we have everything set up, it's time to create the render. Alright, to do that though, I will use alpha channels. I want to keep very shiny stones, and because the metal is interfering with the stones, I will use the alpha channels. The alpha channels allows me just to keep the environments and the color that I want for the stones, and then with I will do just one picture for the stones and another picture just for the metal, so I can accomplish any finish that I want for the metal. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to do that. The first thing that I will do is just go for the stones. Be sure that the stones doesn't have the toggle visibility off. Alright, so this is not correct, you need to have it on. I keep it like this, very good. And now what I will do is just turn off the metal. Alright, so I want to make a render just of these stones. I will go like this. The Matrix Classic style is the one that I want for the stones. 500 passes is just to show you how to make it. And there we go. We start the render. We need to reach 500 passes. Okay, so I finished that render with the stones. Look how shiny the stones looks like, right? Very important now. I want to save just the stones, alright, like this. To do that, what you need to do is go to save. I will save them in my desktop. I can get rid of this one. And I will save them as stones. Alright, now I will do the same with the metal. Just keep in mind to don't move the viewport because we want everything in the same position. I will show the metal, and now is the time to put the toggle off. This and this. Okay. Sorry, not the rose gold, the diamond. Okay, so now I have the stones off, so when I go to transparency, I will get just the metal. Important, I have been using the Matrix Classic for the stones. Now if I want to use another finish for the metal, I can go just to the ray trace just to see how it will look like. Ray traced. Alright, so the metal will look like this. Let's try to apply another Shanghai Nights. Let's see how this one looks like. I apply it. And this one is how it looks like, and honestly I like it. I want to make this render. Okay, so let's go for that. I'm applying this just to the to the metal, because as you can see I have the stones with the toggle off. Okay, so let's go and kick the render. Okay, so the render is finished. Look at the stones, how that looks like here. We are not happy with these stones at all, I know that. What do I have to do now? Look how the PNG looks like. Do you see the reflections that I got in that metal? So I want to keep this. To do that, I save it as a PNG. So this will be PNG, will be the metal. And then also you can have it with or without the background. If you want to keep the background, what you can do is just save this also, but as a PNG. Sorry, JPEG. Okay, and I will call it background. Okay, so now we have 3 pictures. What I'm gonna do next is just open the software that I have as a photo editor, that is the GIMP. This software you can find it in internet, and it's free to download. And I will bring as layers the metal, the background, and the stones. Let me open them. Alright, look at the color of these stones. Looks much nicer. Okay, what happens now that the stones are on top of the metal? So let's gonna start to play with it. I can take the background out. Okay, so just say that I can apply a new if I want a new you see, I can apply a new background, just white, because then when I do the same that I did, that is open as layers, and I select the background, the metal, and the stones, I will also have a white background. Okay, sometimes depending if you want to post always on the website with a white background, that's the right way to do it. So look how many options we have here. The first one that we can do is just get the stones. You see, if I hide it, these are the stones that we got from just the metal render. So what I will do now is just put them on, but move them below the metal. You see here that I have the stones on top of the metal. If I go here and I just put them down, look the result that we get. So we have a nice background for the metal, a nice color for the stones, and also this background. What happens if I hide the background is that I get just the stone with all the the metal with and the stones with all the reflections with a white background. And as you can see, the metal goes on top of the stones, but still the stones keeps all the nice reflections that we were looking for. The only thing that we need to do now is just file and export. To whatever we want. Alright, so now we have another question about the mesh repair. Let's talk about the mesh repair. So I have this ring, and what I want to do is just apply a mesh repair to the 3 parts. So let me show you, because it's quite easy on how to use it. We always need to keep in mind that what the mesh repair will do is just like throw a blanket to all the surface, so we will get just one solid surface, okay? Instead, the three parts that we have here now, we will fix everything and we will get just one piece ready to print. So let's start. I will go at all the metals, also the close, and I will just go to the manufacturing tab and click on mesh repair. And this is what we get. Let me tell you a bit about that. The input mesh tolerance is the definition that we want for the mesh when we use it as an input, the result that we get to work on. And the output mesh tolerance is the definition that we want to get from once we work with all the mesh as an output, all right? So the result that we are going to get. So instead 0.03, I will go to 0.01. All right, so maximum definition. Okay, so it's already done. Here you can see all that we have been working, problem with the mesh, trying to fix it, and we just fix it, mesh fix it. All right, so any problem that we have found in the mesh, we have fixed it. I click enter, and now this is the mesh that we got. Let me just move it here so you can see what do we get. So as you can see, the definition is super good. We have fixed the problems that we found out, and this is ready to send to print. All right, so it's pretty straightforward the way that the mesh repair works. It's not hard to use it. And just to tell you, mesh repair, just let me select that, because something that I want to show you is something else that you can do also with all the settings that we have in the mesh repair. So we have been talking about the input, the output, but then we also have the let input object. So if I want to delete the original object, I can click on here, and then simple planes on. This is for pieces that you have big planes, so we simplify the mesh in that areas. And also when you have a lot of mill grains, you can give more or less resolution to these spheres just moving this value. So if you want a lot of definition, you just change the value and you will get, when you have prongs, a very good resolution. But as you can see, the one that we got here is already good enough. All right, so now you know all these different inputs, what are they for. All right, let's go for another question. We have a user who's asking us how to snap the distance between two diamonds. I can imagine that he's referring to the gemstone surface. Let me just get a surface, sorry, a solid. I will get just a box. All right, so when I use the gemstone surface, we have here the spacing distance. So if I wanted to just say to 0.2, it's okay. Let me go to the top view. So now I have, this is just telling me that is 0.2 from the stone girdle. When I get the next one, because I have avoid overlap on, I cannot go any further. All right, so if I try to push, there is no way I can do it. So this is the right way to keep the distance between the stones. So when I click on, again, I get the same, and you see now I cannot go any further. If I just avoid overlap, put it off, then you can go wherever you want. All right, so if I want to go here and here, I can do that. So this is the way to keep always the distance that you want between the stones. All right, then we have the last question that He's asking us on how to present the model. So if we have hands, boxes, so we can make a nice render of this ring. So from the collections we have the displays, collections, displays, and here we have a few displays that you can use. See, we have different hands, so I can just select, just say this one. Always keep in mind to import it, not to open, because then you will remove the piece that you have in your viewport. And there we go, we already have the hand here. Can have an idea on how it will look like the ring once he places it in his hand. Of course that you can move it anywhere you want. Just to put it in the right spot. And if you want to apply any material, you can go to the materials and you can use any of the ones that we have here, and then you can start to, as we were doing, or either this one. So I add the material, and now even it's like that, as I did before, I can start to play with the material very easily. So I just go here, I take the polish out, and I will go more like this. So the customer can have an idea about how the ring will look like on his hand. So this session for the day is over. I have answered most of the questions that you have sent. We have been talking about the render, the mesh repair, the stones on the surface, and also presenting your models to your customers. So I hope that this has been worth it. Please keep bringing any questions that you have, and we will try to answer as soon as we can. Thank you, and thanks for watching.